Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to talk about an K31 derivative, but in this case it's not in 22 long rifle, but it's in 7.5 times 55 Swiss, so the GP11. And as you may be able to read it, it's the Hämmerli National Match Rifle, and that's how the rifle looks, and we will talk about the details in a moment. So let's talk about the system first. The whole breech, bolt and so on is clearly K31 from top to bottom, and this is because in 1957 the Swiss Army introduced the assault rifle 57. Before I forget, some of the information I will give you I extracted from this edition of the Schweizer Waffen magazin, so a Swiss Arms Journal from February 2020. You see, this is the national rifle, and there's also only one screw here. You will see this later. And the article is from a certain Max Flückinger, and I put you a link in the description where you can order your copy, but it's available in German only. What you see right now is the diopter and this side mount. So you have a screw here where you can tighten this, and you can push it forward and backward to adjust it according to your needs. It has an aperture and a vintage adjustment. It has different peephole sizes and has front side post. Usually it's a ring, but you can also have a front side post if you wish to do so. So let's talk about the stock next. See, this is a quite impressive piece of wood. The weight is approximately 8 kilos, so the whole rifle, not only the stock, the whole rifle is about 8 kilos. You cannot adjust the G-crest. This is because the bolt moves back and forth here, so you cannot do any adjustments here. What you can adjust is here back plate. You can adjust it up and down, and by the help of this one you can adjust length and angle if you wish to do so. So it's a quite heavy piece of wood. Before we talk about the most interesting fact, so this is the trigger, I will share a few facts with you. And the former chief of Hämmerli, Ferdinand Hediger, remembers that they produced in 1966 158, 67 152, 68 89, 69 55, 70 17, 71 21, 72 68, 73 0, no production, 74 43, 75 32, 76 4, 77 0, 78 57 and 79 45, and that's the end of the production. So it was 760 in total. Of them are 45 so-called Hämmerli Tanner, and the price was in 1971 1,350 and in 75 1,520, and this is a very fair price because I have a price list from Hämmerli from 1965. I hope you can read it. Focus maybe, yeah. And there you can see that the price for an Hämmerli match rifle is 2,050 Swiss francs, so it's 500 Swiss francs more, and in US dollars it's 477, so almost $500. Good news for our Swiss friends, today you pay less than 2,000 francs for such a rifle. Bad news for our friends in the US, you pay much more than $500 today. Well, so you may think which currency developed positively and which one did less so. And why they are relatively cheap? Because these rifles actually were ordered by the youth organization of the Swiss Shooting Society. I must put this in focus, I hope it will, because you see there is such a small plate here, and there's written SSVSH. That means this was made for the Swiss Shooting Federation and for the county section Schaffhausen. And all of them have such a plate, and most of them were bought for youngsters, so that the SSV bought them, that junior members could practice, which could not afford such a rifle by themselves, and that's why it was also prohibited to do any changes to the rifle, because they are not privately owned, most of them. So after a short search in the internet, I found a company called Edelweiss Arms, and you see they sell this Swiss National Stutzer for about $2,200 US. But I do not know whether this is still available or not. What you see right here is a German set trigger with actually two triggers. It's usually the way that you use the one in the rear for cocking, and the one in front is the rear trigger, and when then you push it, it goes bang. Our trigger on the match rifle also has two tongues, and here you use the one in front for cocking. You push this forward, and then the one in the rear is the one which actually fires the rifle. So of notice, I will cock the gun, and you can see I can push here and nothing happens. Huh? So I just have to first cock the gun, and then it will fire. So it is quite safe, even when you use hand cocking. So nothing can happen until you set the trigger. So I removed the stock. It's actually not too complicated. There is one screw from top here, and there is another screw which comes from bottom here, and that's more or less all. And here now you see the whole trigger group. I can cock this, and you see nothing happens. I have to put this one, and then boom. What happens is this one jumps out, hits this one, and this one then, that's the sear which releases the cocking piece. So it looks much different from a normal K31 trigger. You may have a look in the video where I told you how to adjust the trigger of an K31. So it's completely different here. There are some accessories available. One is this device for holding the rifle when you shoot standing, so you can put your left hand around this one, you can put this forth and down on this UIT rail here, and you can adjust it up and down with this screw, so you could have perfect hold in the standing position for the rifle. And it's also that you have this piece and here this belt for shooting. And now the question, how does this rifle shoot? There is no doubt that the quality was excellent when it was new, and I fired 20 rounds on the A10 target, distance 300 meters. The 10 is 10 centimeters 4 inches in diameter, and you see the result. It's 191 out of 200, so half tens, half nines. Actually I have a little bit more tens, because you see there is also the second to last shot was in 8, where I already started to lose concentration. The first two rounds which you see here, this is round number 1 and number 2. So I zeroed the rifle, then I had to leave the position, turn on the computer, turn on the match, and then I fired the first 2 rounds, 2 nines left, and I adjusted the 0, and then I hit tens. So these 2 nines I can also count as more or less perfect hits. So it would be then 193. It's not significantly more. It's actually not much more or better when I shoot with my Blaser standard rifle, prone, with an 1.5 kilo trigger weight. Here it's only 100 gram trigger weight. So, but the rifle is not really comfortable to shoot. And then of course I could not resist to put this scope mount, which actually fits quite nicely. It's like 48-31. It fits perfectly to this rifle. And I mounted the scope and I tried to shoot with the scope, and the result was horrible. And the reason is, you see that I cannot adjust the G crest upward, and the scope is quite high over the barrel. So my cheek was free floating, so it had no contact to the rifle, and I could not really see how I aimed, and so the result was that I could hardly keep the hits in the 9. So this is not a good combination, the scope mount with this rifle, at least not in the stock. Maybe if you put a chassis in one of this, or you put a barrel in one of this tactical new K31 stocks, then you may have a perfect sniper rifle. So very good precision, a match barrel and an extremely good trigger. This would be a quite nice combination. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked the video, and see you next time.